or welcome back to Novel Idea. My name is Dia, and today I have a tag that is time sensitive, and I wanted to get it done so that I could tag some others and they could get it done before the deadline is up. This is an original tag by Caitlin Bandy at Bandy Books, and I was tagged by Gina. It is called Yes Chef, and it is all about food in books. So let me warn you ahead of time. If you are hungry, you should probably go eat something before you watch. So without further ado, let's jump in. Okay, so I have my questions down here. And so if you see me looking down, that's what I am doing. The first prompt is, have you ever read a book about or written by a chef? If so, which ones? And did you enjoy it? So the answer to this is yes. I have read several actually, and I tend to really like them. Have read Finding Freedom by Aaron French, who is the chef at Lost Kitchen, which I believe is in Maine. And that was a hard one, but it was really good. I read On the Line. It's Grant Achatz. I have read Yes Chef by Marcus Samuelson. I really like that one. What else? I'm sure that there are others, but yes, I have read several that I really liked. I recently read one by Alice Waters, and I didn't care for it, but it was more of a background of her childhood. I didn't care for it. Most of the time, I really like them. Do you notice food descriptions in books is the next prompt. Why or why not? And this again is yes. I usually write them down, in fact. I like the way that food is often used to describe things that have nothing to do with eating or growing food or being in the kitchen in any kind of a way. There was a phrase that was used in, I believe it was Edgar Sawtelle, that talked about when he walked outside, that the humidity caused his shirt to cling to him like wilted lettuce. And I have never forgotten it. That was before I had moved to the South. And so I didn't experience humidity really until I moved down there. And now I really understand it. But I love that picture of clothing sticking to you the way that wilted lettuce does. So anyway, the next prompt, number 3, is what book have you read that had the best food descriptions? When I was little, I would have said Farmer Boy, because just about every meal is described and there's an abundance of food. It was just a very food-rich story. That's another one that you should never read when you're hungry. And then also Brian Jakes' Redwall series. I remember hearing one time that Brian Jakes, as a child in war-torn Britain, would read a book and it would just simply mention the food. You know, it would just say they sat down to dinner, and it wouldn't talk about what they were having for dinner. And he made an effort in his books to make food a celebration, to make food a victory, to make it an adventure, to make it an actual character. Like each feast feels like its own character in his books, and also just to just really celebrate flavor. And so Brian Jakes and Laura Ingalls Wilder probably have the best food descriptions that I remember. When I was an adult, I remember reading MFK Fisher's Among Friends, and she had such a passion for food done well, whether you're alone or whether you're making food for more people, what you're drinking with your meal, all that kind of stuff, and fascinated me. And then I read Frances May's Under a Tuscan Sun, and that did the same thing. I was absolutely entranced reading about the different meals that she was making. Those are the ones that are standing out to me right now in my memory. Number 4, have you ever been inspired by a book, not a cookbook, to prepare a specific food or meal? And again, the answer is yes. So everything from butterbeer to shrimp and hot root soup to homemade donuts. Yeah, just all kinds of things. Do you have a favorite cookbook? Again, this is hard to name just one, but I do have favorites. I have ones that I use over and over again. I, however, am vegan now, and so most of the time, it doesn't matter what cookbook it is, there's usually something that I'm changing in it. So it feels like no matter what the recipe is, it's going to get changed in some way, but I still have cookbooks that I absolutely love. I do have a couple I can show you. This is the one that I brought in, but this is Erin Gleason, and she used to have a blog called The Forced Feast, and I don't know if she still does or not, but I used to follow it pretty religiously. And she has more than her Mediterranean cookbook. She has a entertaining one. She has one that's just kind of a normal, everyday kind of one. And I love it. She has all of these wonderful photos in here. And then she has artwork in here as well. This is her art on this page here, and then this is her photo. So this is Forced Feast Mediterranean. Here's another one. I have a friend in the Greek Isles who is a cookbook author. And I actually am friends with her husband more than with her. But they have been a team for a long time. He usually takes the photos, which is how I got connected with Costas. And she writes the recipes and the cookbook itself. And that is Aglaia Cremisi. And all of these photos and everything in her books are taken at their house in Kea. And Kea is the island that is closest to Athens in the Aegean Sea, in case you wondered. I absolutely love her cookbooks. And I like this cookbook in particular because it is mostly vegetarian, so there's not a whole lot that I need to change about it. So here's my friend Costas, and that's her husband. That's Aglaia's husband. Anyway, so that's that one. And then lastly, my daughter, who got me the gardening book that I showed you in my book haul, also a couple of Christmases ago got me Yotam Ottolenghi's Plenty, and I've wanted this for a long time. I've cooked out of it for several years, but have never owned it, and she bought it for me. So you can see that I have a lot of tabs, and these two in particular are favorites. This is a watercress and pistachio salad. It's fabulous. It's so good. It has orange blossom water in on the salad, and it's so good. And then this other one that I have marked is a cucumber salad with smashed garlic. And this one is one of my absolute favorites, and that is, I can't pronounce it, but this is what it's called. And then I'll show you what it looks like. This is what it looks like. And I made something very similar to it today. Maybe I'll put a little cutaway of my video that I did of making. It's a Thai garlic glass noodle dish. So anyway, those are some cookbooks that I have that I love. Number 6 is, if you could share a meal with one author, dead or alive, who would it be? It would have to be somebody that enjoys food as much as I do. And it would have to be somebody that I would want to have a really interesting conversation with. I think that I would enjoy talking with Robin Wall Kimmerer. I love her books. Number 7 is, if you had 24 hours to live and could eat one meal and read one book, what would you eat and what would you read? So I think for this, I think it would have to be a rather large meal. Even if I only had little bites of so many different things. The garlic noodles and those salads, and maybe do a Thai green curry, maybe even eat Korean style, where it's all just out there in the center and everybody gets to pull what they want from where they want it. I also would want to eat some sourdough and maybe in bruschetta style, so that I could do a tapenade on it, or do, some of the red pepper and tomato on there. I just love that kind of thing. So tastes like sunshine. Anything that made me happy. As far as what to read, I don't know for sure. I think maybe Jane Eyre. I think that would be a really comforting read. I don't know. That's a hard one. Lastly is to tag some friends. So I would like to tag. I've got several people. I would like to tag Tiffany from Beautiful Minutia, Christy from Dostoevsky in Space, Courtney from Courtney Reads, Chelsea at Voyage of a Time Wanderer, Shelley from Shelley Swearingen, and I would like to tag Jack at Spread Book Joy, and Gemma from Gemma Books. That's enough. We'll stop there. So if you guys have not been tagged yet and you haven't done it yet, do it and go watch Caitlin's video, because there is a time limit to this, and she has a special little thing that she is doing for anyone that does this video and tags her in it. So Make sure to go watch that. It's going to be linked down below along with the people that I just mentioned, and I will try to put the books that I mentioned in there also. And thank you again to Gina for tagging me. I was so excited to be able to do this, and I just loved it. Way to go, Caitlin, for creating your first original tag. It was awesome. Okay, thanks for joining me, everybody, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to.